All right, so I want to talk about where we're headed today. Today we're headed to my boy Rich's studio, and Rich is somebody who podcasting studio, right? Where he does podcasting. He hosts some of the dopest guests, and I remember when I first kind of met Rich. Oh man, there's traffic. Oh, it's like kind of bad traffic. When I met Rich was somebody who wanted to make a lot of money from his podcast, and he wanted to do six figures in his podcast and a bunch of other things. And I remember, I wanted to help him out, and not even help him out, because I believe that life is about who you leverage, what you leverage, and how you leverage it. And I knew I had some guests that were pretty popping in their field, and I said, hey, look, I can help you get some notable guests on here, bro. You can, leverage that. And boom, so I would send guests his way, and then also he's somebody, and then so he would, interview him, and then his podcast is now growing. He now has a big studio. He's absolutely crushing it. And then, also we met through a mutual friend who was crushing it in his field. And, I had a networking experience, and they both came. And, ever since then, he's been a supporter of mine. I've been a supporter of his. He actually came to my event last week. He's in the recap video. I'm doing Art Basel, and he brought his live podcasting studio there. So, I told him, hey, bro, I'm going to pull up today, and so I'm going over there. And so the reason why I'm going over there also, I never seen the studio. He always gets on me about not seeing the studio. So I'm definitely going to go and check out the studio. I definitely want to, we're going to plan a networking event here in the next couple of weeks, with about 50 to 100 people, business professionals and entrepreneurs, and show them the value of networking, but then also give them and show them the value of, show them the value of, why you may want to get on a podcast and why you even want to use a podcast studio. This is an Osmo that I am recording on right now, and so I've done both. I've been in the studio. We've done studio podcasts. We've done in-person podcasts. We've done online podcasts through our network. And I personally use my Osmo to record my videos because I think it's just the easiest way to be able to record anything. So we're gonna go over here and check it out and see what the studio is like. And it's nice that I heard, and so I'm gonna do a whole tour on this gadget right here, and we're gonna try to put it out within the next 72 hours. But podcasting is important, and I remember I went to the podcast summit. We kind of really got involved at the podcast summit because, with David Shands, and he just talks about podcasting. And I realized, I'm like, yo, anybody can do a podcast, right? And then not only do a podcast, it gives you a way to tell your story, it gives you a way to connect with the people that in your community that you're building. And also what podcasting does, it gives you an audience, but then it also gives other people who are guests the ability to share their story on your platform that you're building. Like I said, remember, everything is about leverage. It's about who you leverage, what you leverage, and how you leverage it, right? We always leverage one thing to get to the next. That's so important to really understand. And then also what happens is this as well. When you are maybe doing a podcast, your podcast doesn't have to be at a studio. But if you're somebody that already has a budget, if you're somebody who already has the means to do it, hey, have a sit down with these individuals that are inside of your community, right? It's very, very important to do so because now you're building rapport with people. And then also what he did and what our guy Brendan Boyd did helped us do was not only build out the studio, but show us how to make money behind the podcasting. So yes, Rich was doing well with podcasting, selling merch, bucket hats, all of these things. Matter of fact, I need to pick up my bucket hat today. I paid my $15 for it. Always got to support. But now what happens is, all right, now I have a podcast, but how can I make money from the podcast? Well, guess what? This is something that our boy Brandon Boy put us on, showing us how to monetize a podcast, monetize our audience without having the biggest podcast in the world, without having the biggest audience in the world, through VIP packages and selling the content back to the person who was on the studio so they can now have it. And yeah, like that's pretty dope if you ask me. So it's really dope to see how my boy Rich can go from coaching client, that he has coaching clients that he's coaching through business, but then also now how he's built out a studio and built out a lot of studios. So I think podcasting is important. I think for businesses and entrepreneurship, I think having your voice out there is important. But then I also think that learning different ways how to monetize it, how to sell it, how to reproduce it is also great too. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. This is where I'm gonna start shooting some content and some studio stuff here, and so we're just gonna get the inside look. Shout out to Rich. 2 days,
4 months?
3 days.
That's crazy. Look, you finally showed up. That was crazy, bro.
I finally made it to the studio. Studio. Oh, this is nice.
I may hit you up later.
Yeah, this why you recording this like 2 seconds into
Yes, this is a monumental moment. Finally made it.
Oh my God, you finally made it. You got a football record going on there.
No.
That's real?
Yeah, it's real. Moist night.
Oh.
It's still real though.
I didn't. Oh, my fault. Did the O sound kind of crazy when I said oh?
No,
It
just
did, because you kind of reacted immediately as I said it.
No, see,
Said,
people just
twice.
don't know.
Said, what was real? No, I know it was not. Yeah, it's real.
it's actually
I know.
moisture night is actually rarer than a diamond.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's the truth.
I believe you. Okay, well, I don't mean to I'm agreeing.
I mean, it was a gift anyway. I wouldn't buy it on my own.
I'm just glad that you made it to the studio.
I see like 2 moisture night joints. They're pretty dope. Yeah, I'm actually happy you're here. How you feeling?
Yeah, this thing is nice. It's fire. How are we gonna do a networking event in here? Is it? It's enough room?
First off, take it in for a second. Take it in that room.
Nah, this looks nice.
Don't come on, follow the shot.
Attractive mindset. I like how it's like kind of covert too.
You only see the top half of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's where the event will be held.
If your guest is out here waiting for you, they don't have to just be in silence because they can watch what's happening and hear what's happening in real time in the room.
They can hear it too?
It's on just
1 check, 1 2.
That's fire. This is dope.
We done did Zooms in the morning, got the whiteboard to teach stuff if they need to, put the camera out streaming. 3,000 speed internet type vibe, you know what I'm saying?
What does that mean?
That means it's really fast. And you can hold a lot of people and pay a lot of money.
Damn right. Everyone.
You know what I mean?
It's worth it though.
Got the fridge,
Yeah.
your own luck, because luck isn't given.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying? Pleasantries for whatever first.
You have a little.
Whatever. They done finished the good stuff already.
But I can do that. It doesn't take me that long to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Realistically. So that's why I said there is a cut version that you can get immediately. Cool, you good to go. It's really clean.
Right.
Looks good. If you let me edit, I'm not gonna use that version. I'm gonna make my own version. Be like, hey, just add lower thirds, we're good.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Samari here at another, I wouldn't even call this one an episode, but, at another conversation of the Security Future podcast, and really where we host conversations with entrepreneurs and business professionals. And,
It's not an episode.
yo, can we cut that part out?
What do you mean it's not an episode?
If I'm cutting, no. If you're cutting short. What do you want?
Oh, we're keeping this in, right?
All right, ready?
Yeah.
This is the real take. I just want that for the recording so you know. 3, 2, 1.
How legends are made. What's up, y'all? Samari here at another episode of the Secure Future podcast, where we host conversations with business professionals and entrepreneurs. Honestly, for real, this is more of like a conversation because we're having we had a special guest today. Can I be my own special guest too? We got my man Rich in the building. Rich Moneybags Rich. We're actually in his studio. And I wanted to record this, one, to show love and to promote what he has going on here at the studio, because we will be using the studio a lot more for our stuff and for the people who are in our community. But also, we just want to do like a wrap up. So this is more like a conversation where we have a conversation between, just two young entrepreneurs and business professionals that are just, trying to make a way here in South Florida and trying to make a name for ourselves, while also creating a space where other people can create a name for themselves inside of our own ecosystems. What up, bro?
What up, man?
Hey, man, listen, I had to intro you right, man. I can keep going.
Absolutely. Keep going.
We got businessman of the year, somebody who is a business coach, somebody who has put people on game, somebody who has started a podcast. Well, actually, you know what? What's crazy? When we first met, your goal was to do 6 figures in the podcast space, right? Have you done that yet?
Yeah, first year.
For real?
Yeah.
You hit the goal.
Went over the goal.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. And that was something that he wanted to do, and he hit his goal, and we kind of first met. I was hosting my networking events and experiences, and now we're at about 7,100 people in our newsletter. So I think we both progress. He's built a business in the podcast space, and I built a business in the the networking arena and in like the digital currency arena as well. And this relationships is God, and it's a lot of other factors as well. But I just want to say, I'm happy to be here, dog, and I really just wanted to host a conversation, bro, and just kind of do like a wrap up, bro, and just talk about the things that we've done, things that could have gone better, things that we're gonna do in 2025, and really get people the game on, what it is that we feel like where we could improve, so maybe they can see this and improve themselves.
Okay.
So, what's good?
What up, man?
So I mean, what is your year looking like so far? Like, how is it gone? Like, what are some things that? Let's start here. What are some things this year? And I guess I can kind of answer the question as well. But what are some of the things that you feel like you've done this year in order to put you at a head start than where you were this time last year?
I didn't have no head starts this year. This year was a bag of cat poop.
For real?
Yeah, this year was garbage.
In what way?
I lost a lot of money. End of last year, I had about like 4 or 5 exotics with a bad partner. Lost money on that.
Exotic what?
Cars.
Yeah, cars?
Yeah, we pulled up to the podcast summit in one of them.
Oh, you did. The yellow joint. The yellow Lamb Corvette. Benz. That thing was fire. The drop top, right? Oh, it looked like a drop top. It was fire though. So that didn't go well.
The cars, that didn't go well. I thought I would be doing stuff with taxes in a certain type of way to make things look good. So I actually, well, let me phrase this properly.
Please do. This is the Secure Your Future podcast. Make sure you're securing your future with what you say on here.
I paid about $40,000 in taxes.
Wow.
When I didn't need to.
So how much did you need to pay?
Well, I counted a lot more things that I wanted to basically show income. And so I counted a lot more things that I could have wrote off, for sure.
Okay.
100%. And that backfired because after that, we went into getting this building, and I had 2 partners in it that folded in the first 2 weeks. And so it became a kind of one-man show. So that was 2024 in a nutshell. Yeah. And so it was like, wow, if you add up how much money went into everything, all those 3 investments, that alone is over 6 figures. Cash, because I don't use credit. So that was 2024. But the lessons that you get from that, are super substantial. It never stops the overall mission. The overall mission of what I learned to this year, especially, is, just keep a more tight-knit circle. There's a lot of people that's clapping for you that's not really clapping. There's a lot of people that will laugh and smile in your face. It's not really laughing and smiling with you. And there's a lot of people that are frauds and scammers. And, you always got to treat it with a grain of salt, because certain people will point things out and be like, oh, this person's a fraud, this person's a scammer. When that may not necessarily be true, it's just how they go about certain things, people not understanding. But the real ones are really out there. And you can really get caught up in it. And you can really lose a lot of money messing with people that just aren't even ready. It's not even that they need ill intent to you. I don't think any of those people that I dealt with in these situations meant any ill intent to me. It was they bit off a lot more than they could chew. And in that happening, you got somebody who's super gung ho, who's ready. You know, if I say, you know, it's one of those things where if you count down to jump into a lake with somebody off the cliff, I'm the kind of guy on three. I jump on three. I don't gotta wait till one. I'm already on the cliff. Just get me up. I'm here to go as soon as possible.
Right.
You know, and they're gonna wait till one, and maybe even hesitate. Okay, start again. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be aware of who you're around when you're a jumper. I'm a jumper, and so when people say, "Oh yeah, I want to do this, I'm ready to do this," money spent, money, yeah, let's do it, let's go, let's whatever. I pulled the trigger very quickly, and so it also taught me to just, you know, not necessarily slow down a little bit, but do more things by myself too. And so I've been to less events. I've been coaching less. I actually stopped coaching because coaching became a more common thing for Instagram, and the results that I wanted from it weren't happening on the level that I wanted them from. And I'm hitting people for $6 grand, 10 grand, you know, coaching packages, and I could still do that. But I didn't like the percentage of people that weren't showing up or weren't passing it. And so it became more of a moral thing for me. I'd rather not take somebody's money out of my own moral conscience, even though they're willing to give it. I'm not holding a gun to anybody, you know. They're paying for it. But to me, it's I don't feel like you're ready for it. I don't want your money in that aspect because I don't want that to be tied to my brand. I don't want to take anything from anybody unprecedented, you know. And so that's my walk of faith is doing the right thing when nobody's looking and continuing to do the right thing is hard because you're not using any cheat codes, you're not using any routes, you're not using any shortcuts. You're literally doing the right thing. It's almost like putting the shopping cart back. Will you get penalized for it? No. There are people that are out there that will do that eventually, but imagine if everybody put their own shopping cart back when they go to the grocery store. So it's one of those things where it's just like what you do when nobody's looking and then how you navigate things. And so my advice for 2025 is there is no more advice. Do the work that you've been asking for this whole time. A lot of people keep coming up to me like, yo, how did you do this? What did you get with this? What did you do this? And I'm like, man, y'all been asking the same question for years. Y'all been in the same spot for years. Y'all been doing the same thing for years. People want to tiptoe on their dreams and expect different results. They're scared to lose money. This year alone, I lost 6 figures. You know, and so it's like, okay, cool. 2025, the mission continues. I just more cognizant about how I go about it.
You know, it's crazy, bro. And that's amazing that, you know, you just shared that. And I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine. Was it this morning or either yesterday on the phone as I was cooking breakfast? And I was just talking about this year has taught me how, like, sometimes you have to go. I'm like, man, like, I don't have as many friends as like I thought I did. And it's not that I don't have any friends. It's just the fact that when you're on a when God gives you a vision to do something or a mission to do something, He gave it to you. He didn't necessarily give it to other people. And what I've seen by what we've been able to do this year, and just really in life, is that when you're on a certain path, it's like people, especially at first, they're gonna follow, right? Or they're gonna say, "Oh, that's not gonna work. This is another thing that he's doing." And then once it starts to get, then they want to be a part of it. And then still, it's like sometimes you still, to enhance the vision, the further you go along the vision, the less people you'll have. And I look at the Bible, right? And you can look at any big figure, whoever you want to look at, right? That has ever done anything significant in the world, whether it be good or bad. But let's just keep it like kind of in a good way, I guess, from this perspective. And we look at even like Jesus, right? It's in the Bible, you know, it says, you know, he preached to 5,000 people. Cool. He had 12 disciples. Cool. He had 12 disciples, but 2 or 3 walked with him. Only one of them was with him all the time. So even in that aspect, it's like as he got closer and closer to his where he was going, the circle did get smaller. And that's even, I think what people should really understand is like, man, like 2024 for me was, I learned a lot, bro. I learned a lot. I've lost. I wouldn't even say lose, but some relationships just kind of fell to the wayside. Some of them were gained, and what I've learned is that you just got to keep going. You got to do more. You have to put out the content. You have to, you know, really trust that the way that you're going is a way that's conducive to impacting other people, as well as trying to create generational wealth. But within the generational wealth part, it is the last thing that happens. It's like we have to start abiding by, and I'm saying this as if I'm talking to myself, like generational principles, because as long as you, and I was telling this to the same person, I want to in 2025 practice principles more than I've ever practiced them before.
As you should.
And it's not for other people, it's for me, because I want to feel right in my mind, but then also I want to make sure I'm trying to do right by as many people as possible. Now, unintentionally, some things may fall through the wayside or some things may not work out, but if I have control, I want to make sure that I'm doing the best by myself. Will then ultimately help me do best by other people. Will then ultimately help me do best for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think as long as you practice principles, and Coach Stormy said this a lot, that's where I get it from. As long as you practice the principles, you will always participate in the promise.
When it comes to you, the phrase that I always tell myself, and I might chop it up with P and them about it too, because we're close like that, is, I call you POP, hold it down. Right? You know what that means? You're POP. You play on potential. And when you play on your potential, you can be way bigger than you are right now. And I feel like you know that. I feel like you have the ability to do that, and you can do that, but you don't do it. Whatever reasons you have for not doing it, these are your own reasons. We don't ask. It is what it is. You do your own thing. But that's where the POP comes in. It's the play on the potential, because you can really grow and scale to levels that most other people can't. But because you, whether willingly or unwillingly, choose not to, you don't. And so you're in this category where others don't know how to navigate you 100%, because to people that know, that really make money, it's a lot more than just your personality. It's a lot more than just having you around because you're smart. You know how to articulate things. You actually execute things to a certain level where it's almost like, this guy's crazy. What does he mean he wants to go on a yacht and do this, or go on a rooftop and do this, foster this kind of connection? You have to understand the ability that you have, because normal people under the same circumstances usually fold. And they don't turn it into scenarios that you do. It's you have the scenarios which are good. Your scenarios can be 3 to 4 times bigger than that, though. And I see it. There's several other people that we both know that also see it. But again, whether it's a willing thing or unwilling thing, you don't really take it to that level. And so, I'm excited to see you get to that level, because you can. I don't know. You just POP.
Nah, I mean that's true, bro. That's some good critiques, bro. And I'm taking that, and I'm, and I do realize that, and also, and I don't want to sit on here and make excuses, but there's been so many times in my life, bro, where because I've been so, how do I say this, transactional on the front end, it hasn't done right by me, bro, and it just is what it is. Some of them, some things have gone really well, and some things have gone not too well, and it's caused me to like lose relationships that I wouldn't say I wish I had now, because everything happens for a reason, but it's like, man, I could be this much more further. And also it's like listening as well. Like I know I need to do a better job of listening to people who have been where I've been at. And I can go back to an example in 2019. Somebody told me to do something, and I was intentional on doing that thing, but I executed it too late. And we're talking about potentially millions upon millions of dollars that would have already been made, in that thing. And because I waited a little bit too long, it caused things not to go how they were supposed to, which set me back, years. Even in 2018, right? And that was a financial thing. So let's talk about a spiritual thing, right? And these all have to do with building relationships as well. 2018, I was on a plane and I was going to Vegas in 2018. And a lady was sitting next to me, and I haven't told this story actually on camera, but a lady was standing next to me, bro, and sitting next to me on the plane. We talked for 5 minutes. I fell asleep, woke up, got off the plane, stopped at the plane, stopped when I got off the plane, and she came by me and she was like, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing right now, but God is calling you." This is in 2018, and at that point, I knew that God spoke to me through people, and if I would have executed on that in 2018, I would be further along in my faith walk, further along in building the right relationships, further along in certain things. But I think for me this year, my word is move. Right? The word for me is move. If you're around me, I'm gonna always talking about moving, move. Either when you hear something and when you need to execute something, move on it, or move out the way. Somebody else can move on it.
I feel like a word for you to also consider into that, going into 2025 especially, should be gather. Because, and you telling that rendition of your point of view, you said I a lot. And, you know, you've you've definitely probably made six figures for yourself, right?
In my life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever made six figures for somebody else? That's where life changes. Success isn't really success unless it's duplicatable.
Right.
And so when it comes to doing things for yourself, six figures is respectable. Six figures is common. Whether you make it or don't make it, it's even to a point where, if you go on SSA.gov, again, you can go look this up. This is real information. SSA.gov released September 2023. The average Black American male that lives with a home, apartment, rent, whatever, makes it off of $41,000 a year.
Yeah, less than 6% of black men make $100,000 a year.
Yeah, and so that's the average. But in the entrepreneurship world, it gets deemed that, if you're not making six figures or doing this or having ends or doing whatever, that you don't have a lot of money, and it doesn't really require that. It requires what you keep and how you're paying others. And so growth comes with gathering. Anything is modeled after the Bible. Just like you brought up earlier, Jesus had the disciples. Cool. You want to talk about the Arthur and his round table of knights? What are those? You want to talk about our cabinet with all the different countries and stuff? What are those? Every model that we have after that comes from the same system of you need that group around you. In that group, you're going to have the most definitive people that are the closest to you. Just like you said, only one really walked with them. Two or three constantly followed him. The rest, whatever. Same difference. My one is Dan. I have multiple others that are there that are great, tremendous help. They're there. But that's how your business, your brand gets bigger. You have to include people into it, and you have to get somebody else paid. Since Dan has been part of the team, we just talked about it the other day. Dan has definitely made almost multiple six figures, multiple. You know what I'm saying? And so I can honestly say something I created has blessed somebody else in some kind of way, and that's from multiple people. I know consciously and receipt wise, paperwork wise, hey, I've paid out multiple six figures to multiple people, and so my brand has to grow. Because if I think about it personally for myself, I'm just one person. I can only do but so much. Helping somebody else get to the same level as you requires a whole different version of you that may or may not be unlocked simply because you're not taking care of somebody else. It's different from taking care of like a sibling or a parent or a family member or even a friend, because you have somebody else that is part of what you created that now relies on you, that has a family, that has kids, that have whatever. I've dealt with it all. I've gotten messages from
the IRS talking about this person's not paying his child support. If he don't pay, we're gonna charge you. Like, these are real scenarios. I'm like, wait, why am I getting charged for this guy? You know what I'm saying? So now I got to talk to him, make sure money's squared away with that. To, hey, yo, listen, this is the paper they sent to me. Oh, why did they send you that? I don't know. I got the same questions. But you know, these are things that you got to think about when you
Right.
get into these scenarios of, yo, this person has a wife, this person has a kid, this person has family, this person has a girl, this person has dreams, this person has things that they want to do, and so it requires you to take action on what you might normally not.
No, it's real. And I grew up in the network marketing space, so duplication is everything. It's not about what you can do; it's about what you can get other people to do and how many people you can get to do it. I 100% agree with that. And in 2025, we're also implementing those things as well. You know, putting people around who believe in the vision. You know, who could honestly benefit from what we're doing, at least in the networking space.
I wouldn't even say that,
What?
because that's yes men. If they already believe in the vision, that's yes men. Again, you want to go
Well,
back to the Bible?
well,
No, look at the Bible.
well,
Look
well,
at who is chosen out of the Bible. Let's talk about it.
well. Before I finish,
Mm-hmm.
I would say when I say believe in the vision, it's you can believe in the vision and still have a voice within the vision. So it's not having a yes man. It's people that believe that if
Most
they
people that
do.
believe in the vision off rip, unless they've been with you from day
No, these are
one.
people that have been with me. People who
Okay.
even if you honestly, even if you haven't been with me for a long time or been around for this for one time or for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you you are a yes man, and it doesn't believe that you can't believe in the vision.
So then, where's your next level?
So if we're talking about the networking portion, the networking events, my next level is hosting events in different states, hosting events in different cities.
So where's your next level?
In terms of
The same people that you said have been around you since I've known you, and I've known you for going on 2 years now, a little over 2 years. You know, you've had the events, and they're more or less the same kind of events, different venues.
right,
And so that group of people, if it's really iron sharpens iron, what are they saying?
so I think the events are great for what they are,
Okay.
and I don't necessarily think it needs to necessarily change. I think the first year and the events are just a precursor to what's really on the back, right?
100%.
And so the first year we did 4 events. We did them on boats.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully in 2025 we can bring that back in some type of capacity. Um, those went great. You know, then I wanted to change it. Let's see if we can do it a different way. And so now we did in 2024 we hosted over 20 events.
Okay.
You know, at different places and whatnot, anywhere from 20 people to all the way to 250, 300 people at various events. So we did that model. That went pretty cool. I figured out like a pay structure that pays for like at least the things that we need or whatever. And I think in 2025, um, not I think, but even in 2024 we had them in different states. We had two in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
We had one in DC. And so now I'm seeing the formula of, okay, I know how it works. And so I wouldn't necessarily say change it. I would say make the events a little tighter in terms of more efficient on how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to expand
Okay.
in different areas in different cities, and mainly in because I know they were a Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then expand in those different cities and have people that already live there that have something that's going on that they're going to benefit from meeting all these people and being the host of the event, right?
Okay.
Because they become, although it's a Secure Your Future event, and I wasn't at the one in DC at all, and it's still a Secure Your Future event, but then also, they get a benefit because they're the host of the event. And so I want to do that in different cities. I want to host, let's say this week on a Thursday, we have an event in Fort Lauderdale, an event in Miami, an event in DC, an event in Atlanta,
Okay.
and an event in LA, and having the ones that I'm not at smaller locations, so it can one look like it's crowded, but then also so it's more manageable.
Of course.
And then lead it up to Art Basel again, which we'll do that whole play again. We'll do that a little differently this year. We tried out, the 4 events or 5 events in 5 days, and all it went great. But I think it could be even more intentional. But then on the back end is creating a university. So that's where I think we're gonna do a lot of good work is in the university. Obviously we're gonna promote, the trading education. I truly believe in my heart and hearts that in 2025 that I personally want to start talking about the things that I know, the things that, not that I think I know, but the things that I've experienced. Give the testimony on the things that I've done, how I would do it differently, the fields that I'm in. I'm in the crypto space. I'm in the trading space. I'm in the event space. I'm in the connecting space. I want to truly talk about those things and master me talking about and explaining and teaching these things, right? And so in the university, what we're going to have is we already have a crypto university. We have a foreign exchange academy, all free. And then we're going to add portions like, taxes, things that I need to get better at, taxes, credit, things that I need to get better at. But I know if I need to get better at them, a lot of people need to get better at them. Having different things, building your audience, showing people how to, build their audience. Because I believe, and somebody said, well, what's so great about these events? And I honestly would say, if you're trying to build your brand and get to know more people, I don't think you should come to an event. I think you should go build your audience online, because that's the fastest way you can reach the most amount of people, spending the least amount of money. You may spend time, but it's not time that's going to take up your whole day. It can take you 30 minutes to create 10 posts for the week, right? And so now I've also found a formula on how I personally go viral the most. I know my most viral videos is me doing side-by-side reaction videos about things that either I'm interested in or things that I already talk about, right? And so I know if that can go viral for me, and I only have 28 or I think 29.2 thousand followers now, you know what I'm saying? Then that can happen for anybody, and how to build your audience through that. But I really want to focus on the back end of what I'm doing is providing a place where people can trade their money, a platform that people can trade. I'm gonna tell you the broker that I'm using. Liquid brokers, the Sway ecosystem, but liquid brokers. That's cool. You can use whatever broker you want, but I will want to go with the licensed and regulated broker. Why? Because I've been a part of brokers that are not licensed and regulated, and I've lost money. And because it worked out for a while, I'm the type of person that's gonna tell my friends and be like, "Yo, listen, Amari, what's going down in this world? Well, this is the thing that's going on in this world. Do you want to be a part of it?" Boom. And then it doesn't work out. Now I potentially lost a relationship, Or I can say, hey, look, this is, or instead of, or now I can use a platform that is maybe regulated, not maybe, but regulated, where there's less of a chance that anything happens, but also really and truly just giving people education, right? And not saying, yo, invest your money here or do this, but providing people with the most amount of information possible that they can now, in the shortest amount of time possible, so that they can make a decision. And I think that's where we all have to do better at, right? Providing education to people and allowing them to make their own decision. But like in sales, the goal is not to do 7 follow-up calls. The goal is to maybe do 1 or 2 follow-up calls if they're already calling about the thing that they want from you anyway, right? And giving them the most information as soon as possible, as fast as possible. I'm not talking about bombarding them, but hey, look, these are the things, these are the results, this is the process, this is the price, or this is what it's going to cost, whether it's time or money, right? Or a relationship that you may need to leverage, and then allow people to make their decision. And I want to be that type of person where, hey, look, I'm giving you this information, this education, based off what I know, based off what I've been through, based off what I've won, based off what I've lost, based off of how I feel, the type of person it's made me become, how I'm becoming a better person, and then allowing that person to make their decision. And if we can get to those things faster,
have you ever heard the term "as it is, so it shall be"?
I've heard about it, but you got to explain your point of view on it.
So, going into the psychology realm of it, you have all these holidays, whether they're real or not, pagan, not, whatever. You have these holidays, you have these moments, these birthdays, these accolades that people wait for, that people achieve, and these timestamps that people put on things. And New Year's is one of the biggest ones, where next year I'm gonna do this and I'll be this, and
I'll wait till January 1st.
Yeah, and so my question to you, Lord, is you said that entire time I want to do and I want to be. If you articulated it already,
So it is, then it shall be. Why aren't you that? And why aren't you doing it?
I think so. Are you asking a question like why people
It's
procrastinate?
more of a statement, and it's not the procrastination to it. It's you have what you want to do already. You already have the answers. Sway got the answers. You know what I'm saying? Secure the Future got the answers already. You literally articulated step by step what you want to do. Why isn't it here right now?
It's already here. It's already done. It's already written down. It's already.
No, not the written down execution, and that's my biggest. I wouldn't even call it a fault because I wouldn't trade it. I execute before my money can catch up.
I think I do that too, though. I definitely do that for sure. And my mom is like that.
I'm talking big. Your mom definitely like that. She bought a whole school before she had the money for it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's how I am though. Like I am that in a way, but then
Yes,
also.
but there's levels to it. We're talking giant scale.
I mean, she's.
Yeah, but you're you. We're not even talking about her. You brought her up. You know
So
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
would. So for me, it's just doing it without. So I have a little bit of like.
You hesitate.
I have a indecisive trait about me,
You hesitate.
and I think it's because of me wanting to make people proud, me wanting to, I guess care what people think, me wanting to really, you know, I wouldn't say have yes men, but have people approve of the things that I'm doing. But now what I'm realizing is that no matter what you do, somebody's gonna be. It could be the greatest thing ever,
Facts.
but it's always gonna be somebody or something that doesn't see the same benefit or doesn't get the same value or gives you a 1-star review and there's 25 5-star reviews.
Execution has no room for hesitation.
No, 100%, and that's why I made my word of 2025 move is because
We're not in 2025 yet. What's your word for 2024?
It's
You
doing-
got days left.
it's doing what I'm doing. So I actually made a video earlier talking about the things that I want to do in 2025, and one of those things was document my process. So for example, we're shooting this pop. That camera's going off right now. It's documenting this process, right? My process, and that's one of the things. So I'm actively doing it. I'm actively, I've been having trouble with my computer because there's so much space on it, right? Well, guess what? I saved all the stuff to a drive, and I reset my computer last night. I got a full thing of space, and now I won't have no lag when I'm editing. Things like that, like just small things. Me wanting to read every chapter in my Bible, me wanting to read the Bible in a year. I know I did the math. I know I have to do 3.26 chapters a day at least or more in order to reach that in 1 year. I've already started. That's my 2025 goal. And so you're right. Things like that, like executing before the year comes or whatever the thing happens. Like we already have events set up for January, and it's not even
So the next execution point, because there's levels to execution.
100%.
And even from what you said I want to do different city. So I know that your next event is going to be probably January 9th,
Mm-hmm.
which will be here.
Mm-hmm.
When's your next event for Atlanta?
I haven't planned it yet.
When's your next event for DC?
I haven't planned it yet. January 15th.
Okay,
Actually,
so-
hold on.
And so your level of execution is not as serious for those as it is for here.
So you're right, but
There's no but.
no, you're right, and
Okay.
Gary Vee says that. Why does it have to be a but? It's just it could be an and. I can hate. I can hate, love the Jets, and I can run my business. Like I can do all of the things. I love Gary Vee, but you're right. And so I just wanted to get the January 9th part out the way. But now I got the one in DC planned. I gotta look back at my text for the day. Last night I was looking at places in LA and places in not Atlanta, but places in I was looking at Atlanta last night. Atlanta, LA. I want to look in New York too.
Do you have a date?
No, I don't.
So it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna start those in February though.
No.
I have to.
No.
Need to.
Because you can't sit here and say my goal is to branch out to this and then do a goal that is not that.
No, so I'm not gonna do those every week. I'm gonna do
You
those.
don't gotta do those every week, but still, if you want to start the year off with momentum, because we can go into psychology of momentum.
Listen, I know when you got big mo, you got to keep
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
Cause
And so instead of You know, and of course, this is how it shows you it's not biased because your event is here at my place. Of course, I would want you to bring people here, but I would rather you fulfill what you said you wanted to do, and your Atlanta should be first. Your DC should be first. That's how you start your year off. You don't start your year off doing the same thing you already did.
Haven't done it here yet.
Yeah, it don't matter, but you've done an event here in this state more frequent, 20.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing. People are gonna expect that from you. You start off with, yo, this is what I want. This is how to pace. This is what I'm gonna set for the year. You start off with that energy. You start off with that vibe. You don't start off with the same thing. That's how you stay in the same spot. You're subconsciously programming yourself to do it. Yeah, you can look at all the stuff you want. Yeah, cool. That's window shopping. Most people call it vision board. That's why I don't agree with vision board either. Because vision board, if you already have it visualized, what am I cutting out? Why am I putting stuff on that? You know what I'm saying? Because it's already here and I'm executing in real time. The time that it takes me to cut something out, I can go execute on that in that moment. My visualization it doesn't go away. I wake up thinking about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I don't need to see a board to remind me of it. It's not forgotten.
So what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna go over those things because I do believe in execution. I wanna keep my word in terms of the word move, and I want to execute on those things, and I'm gonna set a date for it. I'm gonna do it. Just gonna find
in January.
No.
You said you didn't have to be there for your DC event.
But I will. Well, I already have it. I already have one in DC in January.
Okay, so Atlanta, LA.
We're playing a big LA event in February.
Choose another state. Texas.
I will only do it in Dallas.
Sure, that's fine.
I don't want to go to Dallas.
It doesn't matter. See, now you're putting personal inflictions onto your dream, onto your goal. You're not even taking your goal serious.
I'm taking it very serious, but I don't want to do it in a place where I don't want to do it at.
It's not about you.
Okay.
It's about what you can reach. That's what you said, right?
So we're gonna do LA.
Right? No, don't that. You got it right. That's what you said.
We're gonna do LA.
Okay.
We're gonna do New York.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna do
Atlanta.
Of course, Atlanta.
Dallas.
Maybe, but not in January. I can do them, but I would rather put emphasis. At least, here's what I've also learned, because I've been very prone to. Dang, it's Monday. I want to do an event on Wednesday.
Okay.
Hey, so and so, y'all got anybody doing an event there? No? All right, cool. Let's do it. But then also, people show up, 50 to 100 people.
That's fine.
But also, it's less intentional, and so I want to be more intentional with the promotion of the event. I want to be more intentional with the.
I don't feel like it's less intentional. I feel like it's less organizational.
So, and that's intentional. And I want to be more intentional with the organization and the promotion of each said event. Although I may not be there, I still want time, at least a 30 to 60 day window of saying, all right, these are the next 90 days. We have this event in 30. We have this event in 35. This event in 45. This event in 60 days. And then we have these follow-up events, these fam-bam type of events from a meeting, book a meeting, right? And so that's also what I want to be intentional for this year. And I know I've seen what at least a 21 to 30 day window of promotion through emails, through text messages.
Okay.
I've seen what those can do. And so
your next event is going to be at the very least January 28th. And what state?
Florida.
No. The states that you named.
Oh, DC. I want in DC
No.
January. You said a different state.
Exactly. You already done stuff in DC. So next state.
I wouldn't do New York because it's too cold. I would do.
You playing semantics now?
No. I'm just being realistic.
So just pick a state.
Because I remember what type of events.
Challenge yourself.
But look at what type of events I like to do. I like to also do rooftop events.
That's fine. You can do rooftop. They are dressed for the weather out there because they live out there.
I have an event in Vegas, July 10th that we're gonna do.
Are we talking about January or July?
Hey, listen.
What state?
We can do LA.
LA?
Yeah, when's the 28th?
So you can choose any day, 28th, 29th, 30th, or 31st. There's how many days in January?
I would do
Or 30th.
I would do the 29th for the 30th.
29th or 30th?
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday.
in LA.
Yeah.
And so now you got your 21 to 30 days to plan it, pre-plan. So what's the issue?
Nothing. We just did it.
There you go.
So.
And if it doesn't execute, what are you willing to lose?
I mean, it's already done.
No, if it doesn't execute, what are you willing to lose?
I don't know. It's not going to be not executed.
Okay.
That's how I think.
Okay. I'm not gonna forget.
You don't got to forget.
Yeah.
I put it in the Eventbrite
But
right
if
now.
it's not executed, I'll never